Okay, here we are. Welcome to everybody. Thanks for being a part of Manufacturing Days 2020, the virtual edition is what we're calling it. We appreciate everybody being here today. And I want to introduce myself. I'm Kate Lee. I'm the Executive Director of Education and Workforce at the South Bend Regional Chamber. In the background is Allison Herzig, who's the Program Coordinator for the South Bend Regional Chamber Education and Workforce efforts. So we're excited to bring you this great panel talking about construction trades. All of you who are attendees are muted. So if it feels like you're invisible, you are not. You are visible through the Q&A, but we do have you muted and invisible because we're recording these sessions, so you can go back out and watch this again, and other students who were unable to attend can also watch this later, and we want to protect your privacy. So please use the Q&A function if you have any questions during the session. The session is scheduled for 45 minutes, so be sure to get your questions in before the end of the session. We want to thank our sponsors for Manufacturing Days 2020. You can find a full list on the Manufacturing Days landing page, the link of which will be dropped into the chat, and hopefully you've already been there. This session is sponsored by Ivy Tech, who is a premier partner for all of our Manufacturing Day events and this particular session. We have Juan Lopez, who is the Dean of Ivy Tech's School of Advanced Manufacturing, Engineering, and Applied Science, with us today to serve as the moderator of this panel. Welcome, Juan. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Kate. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with all of you, and definitely my honor to be participating and hosting this panel with such great folks. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves, just your name, a little bit about where you're working, the company that you're working on. We're all in, we've got a construction trades focused panel today, but I'm going to start in the order that I've got you on my screens. We've got Adam, then Tony, and finally Nick. So Adam, take it away.
Have me, Juan. Yeah, hi, everybody. My name is Adam DeVon. I'm co-owner of DeVon Builders out of South Bend, Indiana. We build mostly single-family custom homes throughout the Michiana area, Lower Michigan. This is the main focus of what we do. I'm also on several different boards throughout the county. I'm on the Area Planning Commission, president of the Area Planning Commission in the county. I'm on the Penn Building Trades Board of Directors, local home builder association board. So active in the community in different areas and trying to get outreach in the trades industry, for sure. So that's kind of my short background.
Well, thank you very much and welcome, Adam. Tony.
Hi, Juan. Thanks for having me today. My name is Tony Pilato. I'm the director of construction here at the University of Notre Dame. Here we do on average of about 150 to 175 million dollars of construction per year. Slightly declined this year with COVID, but that's typically our average. We also range between $750,000 and $1 million construction man hours per year. And in some cases, we've had well over 1,000 construction workers on campus at any one time. So the question begs on our part of who's going to build the next generation in Notre Dame. It's a constant question. Where are we going to get the skilled craftsmen to step up and take care of this? So we are actively involved in the community as well to help promote the trades, to help guide young people and make sure that the future is bright for everyone in this local community.
Thank you, Tony. And Nick.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick Gerbic. I am with Gibson-Lewis Contractors based out of Mishawaka, Indiana. We are a general construction contractor who self-performs carpentry, demo, concrete, interiors. We perform anywhere from $30 to $40 million worth of work a year. We work a lot with Tony, and you probably see our trucks around town, and just looking forward to answering your questions.
Well, I really appreciate all three of you being here and especially representing what is such an important sector in the development of any community. I mean, a community needs construction in order to grow and develop, and you can see that at the individual institutional level all the way up to how you plan and build out an entire city and an ecosystem in which we're all going to live and operate and hopefully be happy and healthy and feel like we're a part of something greater than just ourselves. So this is at the heart of really building out that sense, right? And each of you in your different spheres of influence and areas of opportunity are working on that each and every day. And I'm very happy that we're going to have the opportunity for you all to share some of that with all the students that are listening now, but also anybody else that might watch some of these videos later. So I'm gonna bounce around a few of these questions. We've got such a varied focus and experience here that I think we're going to get a lot of really great responses. But Adam, you come from a family-owned company, a family-owned background on this company, and you've built it up, within that family into what it's doing today. But as you've done this, is there something now that you wished you'd had the opportunity to learn back, be it in high school or college?
Every industry's similar but different. Ultimately, you got to enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, why are you doing it? Obviously, we're all in this industry to make money and be profitable, but you got to love doing it too. And which is kind of ultimately what it boils down to, in my mind. But so yeah, my family, my dad started our company from the ground up. I came along, and I've always been in the industry, being around him and being around the job sites as a kid growing up. And I went to Purdue University, got my bachelor's in construction management there, but it's always been in my mind to do construction, but been more on the mindset of the management side of things than the physical thing. But I did learn, I did the building trades program at Penn. I'm also a board member on that, but learning a background of it and having an understanding of it helps tremendously in what you do, but it just gives you more of an appreciation of what you do when everybody else does. Because you can't do what you're doing without the trust and all your employees or subcontractors that you're working with. So, what I know now is just, find something that you enjoy doing and do that. Otherwise, look for something else. It's kind of, ultimately, there's frustrations or stress in every single job you do. But, for me, seeing at the end of the job, the homeowner creating a home and more than just a house, but a home and where their family can grow up and prosper and see it from years to come. Even in high school, doing the building trades program, those houses are still standing today, luckily. The trades programs do. So it's kind of neat, even at that age, to go back and say, hey, I remember there's the house that our class did, or and show your friends or who your now wife or spouse or whoever, and so it's just kind of a neat thing. But that's
Absolutely
enjoying what you do and finding a reason why you do what you do. And there's always going to be hardships. There's always going to be struggles, but remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing.
And all of you are involved in creating the places where the memories are made, where the lives are lived, where homes are created, where a sense of belonging might be inspired in somebody. So these are stories that will transcend our lifetimes, and these are impacts and stories that will live on well beyond where our own effort and time. And if you can find the way and the opportunity to enjoy what you're doing when you're doing something like that, all the better. So thank you very much, Adam. Tony, well, we'll start with this same question with all three of you, because I think it's a great starting point. Given that you're working with such an expansive set of projects within university, there's never the same thing being done. It's managing an entirely, wild set of constraints and requirements and keeping a bunch of stakeholders happy. What is it now that you wish you had learned a little earlier in high school or in college?
Yeah. So what's interesting is, I didn't know, I didn't have the opportunities I think that exist today I was graduating high school in the late 1980s. It was before the real focus to go to college. I was one of the few that actually went, just like Adam, I went to Purdue, construction technology, and that was my forte. And the only reason why I did that was because I didn't know anything else. Nowadays, I think there's more opportunities like this to learn and be more educated on the trades that you're interested in. But back then, when it wasn't promoted much, and you're in small communities, you just graduate and you become the farmer, you become the factory worker in the local community, and you've got a high school education. In my case, I really only knew construction. It's what I did during the summer. I built houses. And so it was like, what do I do? It's the only thing I know how to do. So I'm going to be interested in it. And what I learned through the process is I was very lucky to say, I love this trade. Just like Adam had mentioned, you got to love what you do. You got to be proud of what you do. I don't think that there's anybody that can say, if you go into the construction business, you're not going to be proud. I know people every day now that goes by buildings, that were built 20, 30 years ago and said, I was involved in that in some form or fashion. I'm passionate about Notre Dame because I get to build these awesome, beautiful buildings that'll be here for hundreds of years even. So we'll get to enjoy them for a really long time. The other thing that I learned through my career is to be very humble in many cases. I thought I knew everything when I graduated college. One of the few back in the early 90s that graduate now. Now I know everything. I didn't know what I didn't know. And learning from the people around me was probably the best experience of my entire life, and dropping the chip off the shoulder and saying, let me just be a sponge. Let me be humble. Let me earn my way. And what's interesting through this whole career is you never stop learning in this trade. There's always something new your entire career. You're not going to grow stagnant to say, oh, I know it all. I'm a journeyman construction worker. I've been in the trade for 4 years. I know exactly how to do my trade. Every job is different. Every situation is different. Every problem is different. And there's new opportunities. So I know it's a long answer, but at the end of the day, I think it is to stay humble, learn, and appreciate the trade. And it's something, honestly, that you can be very proud of, no matter what your level, whether you're an iron worker or a concrete guy, all the way up to the designer or the project manager. I think everybody's equally as proud of their part.
Absolutely. Great answer. And I really appreciate that perspective as well. And Nick, you guys are everywhere. Everybody here uses probably general contracting services to one degree or another. Everything that we're in, around, drive over, drive with has probably had some kind of general contracting work being involved, and that leads to a huge diversity of work, challenges, opportunities. What is it you know now that you wish you had learned earlier in life?
Well, there's just some really important things here that even outside of construction that I challenge, all students to focus on, and that is, focus on what's in front of you. Don't worry about things that are out of your control. It's really easy to get caught up in some things that, especially as a student, there's a lot of stress about your future and a lot of pressure maybe. But I think if you just take it day to day and, push yourself to be better at the things that are in front of you now, it's going to serve you well in the future. The other thing I would say is ask lots of questions. These are some of the things that, I wish I would have done more of when I was in school. Develop a personal relationship with your professors, your students. There may be opportunities out there that you don't know about. Ask the question. If you're interested in construction, high school and college, there's going to be lots of opportunities and extracurricular things that you can do, and those are gonna help you as you progress in your career. So don't be afraid to ask about those things. I'd say never stop learning, always push yourself, and have an open mind. So those are the things I had written down. Juan.
Well, I really appreciate it. And these are some great ways to kick off thinking about this. Adam, you had something you wanted to add to
Yeah,
that?
I thought of something as we were talking that something that I kind of learned. My dad, when I was first getting into the industry after college, and one of the things that he taught me, and I've always been a pretty laid back kind of person, and pretty easygoing. And one thing that you learn, at least being in our industry, is never burn a bridge. People's egos get in the way. You might not like somebody, or you might get frustrated with somebody. You never know how something's going to come back to you. You might need, if you got an issue with somebody, especially if you're in sales, that person might want to build a house one day. That person might want, you might need something from some person someday. So never burn a bridge, no matter how big your ego is or how big you're not happy with that person. Sometimes it's better just to move on and let your differences be differences and move on. Don't.
Oh, sage advice. Following up with what Nick was saying, what Adam just said, the network that you build around yourself is incredibly important. Networking has so much value in any career these days, not only because these are going to be people with such a diverse set of experiences that you'll be able to draw on knowledge from so many different areas. People will have faced problems you've never faced, seen things you've never seen, worked in areas you've never worked, and their knowledge will be incredibly valuable in a way that would be hard to replicate under any other condition. You can't go to class to get that particular mix of knowledge or experience, but also because there's a very practical business related sense for doing this. Networks are hard to build and easy to lose. It is something that you do every day, and you can lose it with one poor choice or one poor decision, and you never know what that might end up doing or costing you later on. And these networks are also how you find out about other jobs, opportunities, and opening ways to make better inroads for yourself. So absolutely, great advice on that front. Adam, so we've got three very different kinds of ways that business is running here and working here and operating here. But are there opportunities to grow within the construction trades? What is the kind of pathway that you see for somebody in a company like yourself? And what are they?
Sure. Yeah. Great questions. Obviously, every company is different. Every trade's different. Depends on how they're operated. I mean, we're a small company. Speaking for DeVon Builders, we don't really have many employees. We subcontract all of our labor out. So we use a framing carpenter or electrical carpenter, and so on and so forth. I mean, so they're not my direct employees, even though we use the same subcontractors pretty much in every job. But so getting in with a company like myself and many builders, many single family home builders are very similar operated. Some a little bit bigger than others. Some might do more volume, but I work a lot with the building trades program at Penn, and we're also involved with the Home Builder Association, and we're creating like a job board for the community. Or we're just kind of kicking it off within the Home Builder Association locally to try and find in the trades industry members. If they're having openings, you can go to there, for really anybody. I mean, obviously it's more geared for young persons interested in getting to the trades and getting tied in, getting that initial foot in the door, but getting that experience with, you want to be a drywaller or a carpenter, or a framer. Ultimately, most people that want to be in our industry, they want to own their own business. They want to be their own, manager or contractor. But you need to have a little bit of to run a business. You need to have a little bit of management background. Even though, like my dad, he didn't go to college. He started up as a framer, a trim carpenter by trade. Did some remodeling back in the 70s and 80s. he didn't have the background experience in managing and understanding that concept of running a business. He learned, his words, it's school of hard knocks. He learned by, failures and learn from them and move on. So where I went to school for construction management and got that background a little bit better, where now I'm running the day-to-day business and operations, and he's still involved in the business, but I'm doing more of the day-to-day management type stuff. So there's I would say every firm, there's always room to grow and expand depending on your skill set. If you're looking to just be a carpenter or a tradesman, most of our subcontractors, they pay you based off of your skill set. How good you are. Can you run your own crew? Can you do this or not? Or are you just going to be there for a laborer? But you got to start somewhere. You got to learn. Don't be afraid to learn. Many of the kids I've seen in the trades program, like Nick mentioned, they you think you know it all, but I'm still learning every day. I mean, I learn every day on every job. I mean, don't be afraid to learn is a big thing that I've learned. Our industry, there's always new technology, there's new product, there's new ways to do things. There's always a better way to do something that's more efficient, more, create less issues down the road. So don't be afraid to learn that stuff and be open-minded. So every firm's different. Obviously, larger companies that might do more tract building or more townhomes or something like that might have a bigger firm, but you just got to get your foot in the door somewhere. Usually it's an entry-level labor position and talk, ask questions, and that's the best way to kind of move forward. But there's lots of different programs out there between different associations, homebuilder association. There's some other local associations that are a good source for you to talk to.
Well, thank you very much. Tony, as we've got, a set of responsibilities that vary as widely as they can be with the kind of building specialized construction that you guys do, are there special skills, certifications, education that you might be looking for when you're looking to recruit to this kind of work and team? Like you mentioned, there's sometimes up to 1,000 people working on projects at a given time.
Yeah, what a great question, Juan. I want to step back for just one moment and go through my personal perspective on what you have to do to grow. Is literally just be a hard worker, be encouraged, be willing to go the extra mile. And I think at that point, you're limitless on where you can go, no matter what position you're in. A good example, when I graduated from college, I go to work for a general contractor where I spent half my career, very similar to what Nick does. And I started out as an assistant, project manager and had some safety responsibilities. I remember in an interview, the owner of the company asked me, "Why should I hire you?" And I didn't have any good reasons. I built a few homes. I was a laborer. I didn't have great experience or anything to sell at that point. The specific question was, I got 30 applicants from Purdue sitting on my desk. What makes you better than any of those others? Your GPA certainly wasn't superior. You don't have anything to bring me. And I remember looking him in the eye and basically saying, the one thing I can guarantee you is I will work harder than anybody else in that pile. And I meant it. And from my heart is, I will prove that to you if you give me a shot. I think I even threw out there, give me 2 weeks as a trial and you could see what I'm like before you decide to physically hire me, just to throw out there something that somebody else didn't. My point to that is I kept that promise, and within 10 years, I was the executive vice president of the company. And this is at the time, a $60 million a year organization, which shows you that, that hard work pays off. While I was at that company, there was a very shortage of a good qualified superintendent type people, foreman type people, people that can take projects and run with it, that had the soft skills to deal with people. Those types of people that put in the extra effort and didn't just come in and put in their few hours and give you some work and then go home, ended up being superintendents and foremen, even from their first day on the job site within a short period of time. They're rewarded for that. Now all of a sudden you get extra vacation time, you get a truck, you get gas cards, you get other benefits that others don't because you work hard. And so I've seen that my entire career, and I don't think that's changed to this day. 30 years later, I think companies are still looking for the same thing. Now, to answer your question, the industry has certainly evolved. Before it was, hey, you go through an apprenticeship program, you learn your trade, you become a master of your trade, and you're done. I don't think that there's anything that you're ever done with now. There's certifications for doors and hardware and different certifications for building veneers and ABBA that adds to value. Welding certifications. It doesn't matter what trade you're in. A good trade is always promoting the next level of quality and growth. And if people seize those opportunities, I honestly think it's limitless of where you can take yourself in this industry, really.
Absolutely. And there is so much room for growth and learning available here. And Nick, given these two backgrounds and perspectives, do you have something to add as far as recommending the kinds of things that students should be focusing on right now as they're trying to find opportunities to go out and get experiences, look for certifications, take certain educational opportunities that are in front of them if they want to get into the construction trades? Oh, we got you muted.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Really, it depends, it depends on what type of construction you want to go into, what you're interested in. It takes a team of professionals to complete these projects, and there's a lot of different avenues. So, if you want to go into the construction management, project management route, there's probably some courses. Your building trades courses are a good place to start. Anything that's going to show you or teach you how a building goes together, how things are assembled. Anything like that is going to give you an understanding and set you ahead of others as you move on in your training. So I'd say think about, to Tony's point, think about in the future, someday you're going to be sitting at someone's desk or in a conference room in an interview, and he's going to have a stack of applications, and find those things that are going to set you apart, and go do those things, have those certifications, have a good cover letter. These things are really important. It's very competitive out there, and go find the things that are going to set you apart. Go to college, if that's the route you want to go. Go into an apprenticeship if you want to go into the field. Pick a trade and go for it. So those are the things that I think are important.
And I appreciate that. I think it's very important that we recognize and value the professionalism that we want and we expect in this kind of work. Again, you're not going to have something that's still standing there 100, 200 years from now, like Tony was pointing out, if you're a one and done, bare minimum kind of person working in this field. There's a high degree of craft work. There's a high degree of professionalism. So there's a high degree of focus on detail that is involved in getting work like this done. And that's something that you can work on as an individual in everything that you're doing. Whatever it is you're doing, whether you're asked to sweep the floor or design the next skyscraper, do it to the best of your ability, because that's the kind of worker that's going to show up every day and that's going to be valued in that interview. Now, we've got a question in the Q&A that I think is valuable. I'll ask it and kick it off with a short little answer, but if you guys know of anything to add to that, I would also appreciate it. We've got somebody with adult education and folks looking 16 and up. Are there pre-apprenticeships or certificate trainings in construction available? And I'm assuming, especially in the state, for one, Ivy Tech definitely has these certified technician VCTs, these certificates available. We're looking at creating more of them online and making sure that they're out there and available for people to take. We're looking at building trades, carpentry, building construction management. So these opportunities are here in the state, and you can start taking them. There's probably some crosswalk information from going to high school and out there, but I did want to open it up to see if any of you knew of any additional, early education kind of opportunities that people might do to start getting into those professional trainings or certifications.
So, Juan, I think I can start a little bit here. I think that answer is yes, with some qualifications. So for instance, I am familiar with a lot of internship and co-ops, especially for young people, to dip their toe in their water to find out, is this something that I'm going to enjoy? Obviously, us at the University of Notre Dame, we don't have the construction workers, that work directly for Notre Dame. We hire them out like Nick's company. But internally for architects, engineers, construction management people, we bring in 10 interns a year to work with us either through the summer, fall, or springtime during the semesters, just to get them exposed to the industry and say, is this something I'm going to enjoy and like? Sometimes, there's a misnomer in the industry to say, for instance, I'll take architecture. I get to sit in an office and design and draw pretty pictures every day. Well, in reality, that's probably less than 5 or 10% of the entire job. The rest of the job is construction administration, where you're reviewing shop drawings and going through tedious type administrative work every day to dot the I's and cross the T's. I think you can say that for all of the trades. And so it's important to fully understand what you're getting yourself into. I'm not certain that the local unions have an apprenticeship program to introduce people, but I think it's important for that outreach to happen. Unless Nick or Adam, you have any other thoughts on that?
I had heard that the local carpenters did have some involvement with the building trades at a couple of the high schools. I think I did hear Clay even. So, Juan, that's something that I can ask about and look into and definitely get back to you on that, because I do think it's a really good question and it is important. So.
And we do recommend you reach out and you talk with your local high school and educational folks to see about getting you plugged in to those technical education opportunities that you may have. Adam, you?
Yeah, so I mean, and I remember being in high school, and as many of you are the same boat, I don't have no clue what I want to do, right? Where do you want to start? I don't know what I like because I haven't done anything yet. So where do you start? So it's, I'm pretty involved with, as I mentioned before, our home builder association locally, which we've been involved with trying to stay in touch with the local high schools and their building trades programs. I mean, that's an easy way to start if you're at that age yet, or if that opportunity is available to you. I know Penn has one, Mishawaka has one, South Bend has their own building trades program where you get to work and build on a home. I think even this year, Mishawaka might be working on some Habitat homes and helping out in different areas and learning from Habitat for Humanity on their build site. So Penn's building trades program, I know they're, if you go through the class, you get a 10-hour OSHA card, just going through the class and learning safety and which wasn't there when I took the class, but there's, and it depends on which avenue you want to go in, but most people don't know what they want to do yet. So that's an easy start for in high school age, being involved in a building trades program.
And I think that it really helps to go out and get some of these internships and opportunities. We had a bit of a follow-up on that, which was, well, what about the adult education students that can't plug in through the high school? And I would recommend then go to your local schools, colleges, trade unions, and building associations, like we were mentioning here. So you can, get in touch with Ivy Tech, get in touch with Purdue, get in touch with anybody that's running one of these construction trade opportunities. get in touch with the local trade union that might be more in line with what you want to do, and just ask, because they will connect you to resources that many times we're not all aware of. And we've also got somebody else here in the Q&A, saying that we do. We have local construction companies that have internships and several union and non-union based apprenticeship courses and training available in the region. So definitely reach out, talk to the people around you, call us, call the various colleges, universities in the region, call the chamber, get in touch with your local resources, and we will get you in touch with the people that you need to talk to, because the thing that I think we all want here are better prepared people, more skilled, and more able to do those high quality jobs that we've got in the area. Now, as we're rounding the corner on this set of questions, I think one of the things I'd like to hear from each of you is how you see your particular corner of the world changing in the next few years. Everybody's talking about all the ways that manufacturing and things are going to change so quickly, but buildings often change at a lagging pace in some industries and at a leading pace in others. So like Adam, you're working primarily on homes. Tony, you're working on a bit of everything. Nick, you're working on a little bit of everything. So how do you see your particular work, your trade, your industry changing over the next few years? And we'll start with Adam.
Sure. Thanks. Good question. There's several things on that. I'd like this space. I know we're kind of getting fairly short on time, but obviously everything, on everybody's mind right now is with, especially this year with the COVID issues and safety and keeping everybody healthy and, and not just our industry, but I'm sure Nick and Tony could attest to this, but I mean, because of everything and everybody shut down for a while or working at half capacity or partial capacity, I mean, products availability, pricing is going through the roof. Taking longer and longer to get products, making it, harder to get, stay true to a time frame or a budget right now. So, I mean, that's just more of a short term, but it's probably going to be more of a long term in the next couple of years. That's going to be affecting. So pricing is a big thing. Product availability is a big thing. But it's probably going to affect how we do business and how we take on work and how we, can build. And in my industry, in single family, even since the economy kind of tanked back in 06, 07, there's been a shortfall of homes. And there probably will be for a long time. It's going to be very hard for our industry to catch up, which is why you've seen probably more and more townhomes and apartments going up than single family homes, because things have been evolving because there's a shortfall of housing. And that's one way that my industry's changed. But then again, you don't want to flood it with apartments when most people want to own their own home at some point, right? So
yeah, and we've got these changes coming up, and the economy is going to have to adapt, and our industries are adapting with them. Tony, how do you see our industry changing in the next few years?
Yeah, so technology is going to be at the forefront of that, I think. For what I see, it's absolutely amazing. 10 years ago, BIM, building information modeling, drawing things in 3 dimensions and having clash detections where you're seeing problems before there are problems in the field. That almost didn't even exist 10 years ago. You go on to every project that we have on campus now, and even if drawing that BIM model was not a requirement of the project, many of the contractors are doing it anyway because it's saving themselves time and money. And you see the computers and the screens up on the projects as you walk through that you just didn't see before. I saw an amazing piece of technology. Construction's a very labor intensive project. There's no way you're going to get around that, but how do you make it easier so people aren't going to beat up their bodies for 30 years of their life? I saw a machine that came out and actually laid block for a computer program several weeks ago. that is absolutely an advancement in the industry. You're still going to have specialty areas where you're going to have masons on a wall and taking care of things. But if this really comes to fruition, it'll be a game changer. Those are the types of technology that we have. The equipment, the scaffolding, everything has advanced just dramatically over the years, and I can't imagine that stopping.
Absolutely. We will become a more data intensive and automated and highly productive workforce, and we need to be adaptive to it. And finally, back to you on this, Nick. How do you see this kind of work changing and evolving over the next few years?
Definitely technology. It's ever changing, and it's sometimes hard to keep up with. But we've seen a lot here recently, just in the past 5 or 10 years. And we've also experienced quite a labor shortage, and it's what it's done is forced us to look at the way we do things and get more creative and find a way to do more with less people. And like Tony said, there's a machine that will lay block now. It's pretty unbelievable. Some of the things that we're getting into, laser scanning, and layout. Some things that I'm seeing out there, in the industry, virtual reality. These things that haven't really hit here yet, but they're going to. And that's an opportunity for some of you people to get involved and learn these things and kind of have that in your tool belt. It's going to be valuable, down the road. So just look for those kinds of things. We're always obviously improving safety, schedules. These projects, they never seem to get any easier in terms of scheduling. So, once again, getting creative with prefab materials and information flow, finding ways to speed those things up. So
Life's going to get more fun and interesting. I'm looking forward to augmented reality helping us ensure compliance with how we're building and laying out things. I've seen examples of this in manufacturing, quite interesting. And now I am very grateful for this question that came in from the public, because it means I don't have to come up with a creative final question here. Kind of lightning round, 30 seconds or so from each of us as a parting words or parting wisdom. What are some long-term benefits for the individual that you see wanting to get involved in the building trades? Like, what is that thing that getting involved in this career will leave you in your life, in your family, and what you're trying to do for yourself and your community? So we'll go with Adam, Tony, and Nick. Adam, you're muted.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
In the trades industry, and you see it more and more, that most people are hiring out stuff and not doing stuff themselves. And especially take a look at when everything shut down, several months ago, people were stuck at home. Many people were stuck at home and trying to start doing their own stuff, and they don't have a clue how to do repairs or fix stuff. Or the nice thing about, at least in Indiana, most of the states, construction was considered an essential business, an essential, profession. People were stuck at home and having that basic understanding of fixing something out of your house, or managing people coming in and out. You said managing your day-to-day life and your family and your running your kids, scheduling. It helps with everything. But I mean, really even if you are just a manager, but having that background of how to use a hammer, how to use a drill, how to level something, how to, learn, try it out, even if you fail, try it again. Just keep at it and keep going.
You were muted, I think, Juan.
Oh, thank you very much, Adam. I appreciate that. And Tony, thanks.
Yeah. So I'll echo everything Adam just said. That was the first thing that popped into my head. This is a trade, whatever trade you're in, it's something that nobody can ever take away from you. I can't tell you how many people that I know even right now that call me and ask me, for somebody to come over and help them do something, repair a door, take care of an electrical outlet, just something in their home. And what you'll find is, what we haven't really talked about, the trades make good money. The construction workers, in today's environment is a very, very lucrative living. I mean, you can live really well. The problem with that is the people that don't know how to do that work have to pay those high wages to have them come over and do it at their own house, right? So it's helpful. The other thing, as I mentioned earlier, depending on how hard you want to work, your income is now limitless. You know how many people want to hire you on the side to come help them build a deck or finish their basement or something because they need that expertise to do. So if you want to work hard, you can have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, make as much money as you want, other than your normal employer.
Thank you very much, Tony. And Nick, we'll round it out with you.
Well, I guess my perspective on this is, I think I can probably speak for all 3 of us when I say, we all work for one reason, right? And that's to earn a living. And, I'm fortunate enough to work in an industry that I have a strong passion for. And I think that's really important, to find that thing that you can go to work and because you're going to work hard. And if you want it to be rewarding, work hard at something you love doing. And what that's going to do for you, and especially in the trades, is allow you to earn a good living, support your family, and hopefully someday retire and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So that's it, really.
I greatly appreciate this wisdom, this experience, this background that all of you have provided. I look forward to this next generation of people that are going to be building the things we'll be remembering, and building a life based on doing that for the rest of us. So thank you all very much. I wish you the best of a great week, and thank you to the South Bend Regional Chamber of the Niles Greater Region for having us here.
Great. Thanks, Juan. Thanks for doing a great job moderating this session. And thanks to our panelists for the great information that was shared. We really appreciate the audience for being here. Juan already made a shout out to the South Bend Regional Chamber and the Greater Niles Chamber. Both have Manufacturing Day landing pages. So you can go there and find additional information, panels, sessions, lots of industry videos. All the panels are being recorded. So if you heard something that you want to share with parents or with a fellow student or anything like that, this session will be out there tomorrow, and you can take a look at it and share it with whoever you would like. Many businesses and careers to explore in the South Bend region, and we encourage you to continue exploring through the Manufacturing Days landing page and the chamber website and all the really great resources that we have out there. So thanks to everybody again for participating, and have a great afternoon.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a great one. Thanks.